A few years ago, being an e-girl was considered cringe. Today, some of the biggest creators on the internet aren't even people. They're anime avatars, virtual streamers, digital influencers, carefully designed online personas with millions of followers. And somewhere along the way, femininity itself started changing. Not in the real world, online. The internet keeps creating entirely new versions of womanhood. The Tumblr girl, the soft girl, the e-girl, the coquette, the VTuber, the AI influencer. Every few years, a new form appears, a new aesthetic, a new personality, a new way to perform femininity. And what's strange is that millions of people immediately understand the assignment. They know the clothes, the makeup, the attitude, the music, the memes. It's almost like femininity online has become a language, one that's constantly evolving. So, why does the internet keep reinventing it? And why are so many people becoming digital versions of themselves? Before social media, most people only had one version of themselves, the person that their friends knew, the person their family knew, the person who existed in the real world. Online changed that. Suddenly you could create a profile and choose a username, pick a photo and design a version of yourself, and that version didn't have to be completely real. It just had to feel real. The internet gave people something that humanity had never really experienced before: the ability to curate their identity, to decide exactly how they wanted to be perceived. And nowhere was this more visible than femininity, because femininity has always involved some degree of presentation: fashion, makeup, hair, style. The internet just gave people more tools and more audiences. For a while, the internet felt like a place built by and for men: gaming spaces and forums and tech communities. The stereotypical online user wasn't imagined as feminine. And then the e-girl appeared. And suddenly femininity wasn't just present online. It became highly visible. The e-girl wasn't trying to look traditionally glamorous. She was built for the internet. Dyed hair and winged eyeliner, oversized hoodies and gaming headsets and anime references. A carefully balanced mix of cute, ironic, chaotic, and self-aware. The e-girl wasn't just a fashion trend. She was one of the first truly internet-native feminine identities, a type of femininity that only made sense online. And that's when things started getting really interesting, because the internet realized something. People weren't just creating content, they were creating characters. Think about how many creators today are known less for who they are and more the persona that they play. Sometimes it's intentional and sometimes it happens naturally. But eventually, audiences begin associating people with a specific version of themselves: the cozy streamer or the goth girlfriend, the chaotic gremlin, the comforting ASMR creator, or the mysterious VTuber. The internet rewards consistency, and personas provide exactly that. The result is a strange situation where people are simultaneously being themselves and performing themselves. Not fake, not authentic, just something in between, a version optimized for an audience. Then came the avatars, and avatars changed everything. Because once you remove the physical body from the equation, identity becomes infinitely customizable. You can be taller and prettier, more expressive and more fantastical. You can have glowing eyes or cat ears, demon horns, perfect hair, perfect lighting. perfect everything. VTubers exploded in popularity because they offered something traditional creators couldn't: the ability to become an idealized version of yourself. Not necessarily a false version, just a version without limitations. And viewers embraced it. Because people don't connect with avatars despite them being fictional. They connect with them because they're fictional. The avatar becomes a symbol, a personality, or a fantasy, a character. And humans have always loved characters. But digital femininity isn't just about appearance. It's also about emotion. Just look at the internet right now. Soft lighting and rain sounds, cozy bedrooms and pastel colors, gentle voices and comfort playlists and ASMR role plays. Everything feels softer, warmer, and safer. And for a lot of people, the internet has become more than entertainment. It's become emotional infrastructure, a place people go when they're lonely or stressed or exhausted, or maybe just looking for some comfort. And many feminine online personas are built around providing exactly that. Not because they're manipulative, but because there's a demand for it. People want spaces that feel gentle. They want voices that feel reassuring. They want experiences that feel safe. And creators have become incredibly skilled at creating those experiences. And this is where things get especially fascinating, because online comfort culture often blends softness with power. Think about how many popular characters and personas combine nurturing behavior with authority. The protective demon, or the caring vampire, the confident goth girlfriend, or the affectionate AI, the comforting caretaker, the gentle but commanding voice. They're soft, but they're also in control. And it's a dynamic that appears everywhere online, in streaming or roleplay communities, ASMR and VTubing, and even digital companionship. What people seem to crave isn't necessarily dominance, it's guidance. Someone who appears confident enough to handle things. Someone who creates a sense of security. Someone who says, "You're okay, I've got this." And in an increasingly chaotic online world, that's incredibly appealing. But this is the part that feels almost science fiction, because we're already seeing the next evolution. AI influencers and virtual girlfriends, digital companions, and artificial personalities that are designed to interact with humans. 10 years ago, the idea sounded ridiculous. Today, it's an industry. And it raises an interesting question. If people can form emotional attachments to avatars, and avatars can become influencers, what happens when those avatars can talk back? We're entering a world where femininity isn't just being performed by humans. It's being simulated, generated, and designed. And that's going to create entirely new questions about identity, authenticity, and connection. Maybe the internet isn't reinventing femininity. Maybe it's revealing something that was always true. Femininity has never been one thing. It's always been adaptable, creative, and performative, expressive. The internet just accelerated the process. It gave people infinite tools to experiment with who they are, and in doing so, it transformed femininity into something fluid, something customizable, something that can exist as a person or a persona, an avatar, or even just a piece of code. The Tumblr girl became the e-girl. The e-girl became the VTuber. and the VTuber became the AI influencer. And whatever comes next is probably already being created somewhere online right now. We just don't have a name for it yet.